So how do you know when to start introducing solids and giving your baby the taste of real foods? Well, it's best to be guided by him. He'll let you know when he's ready. You might be sitting on your lap one day while you're eating a sandwich and a small hand will stretch out and grab some. There's no need to rush into giving solid food, and there's certainly no competition to be first on eating a roast dinner.
Most women are capable of producing enough breast milk for all their baby's needs until he is around 6 months old. If you think you have a problem with supply, you can contact a breastfeeding counsellor who may be able to make some suggestions. It is generally suggested that the first solids are introduced between 4 to 6 months. It's important this doesn't happen too early, certainly not before 4 months, unless on medical advice. Solids too early can contribute to allergies, such as eczema and asthma. So if these run in your family, it may be a good idea to delay introducing solids. The longer you leave it, the easier it is. Though some people say if you leave it too long, say till 8 months or so, you'll find it harder to persuade your baby to take solid foods. As you give more solids, you will eventually begin to phase out breastfeeds, although you can still carry on for months or even years. It will still benefit your baby, however little he seems to be getting.
Once you do decide to begin, you might start with pureed fruit or vegetables, or a rice cereal mixed with milk. Breast milk is best. From 6 months on, you can use doorstep milk for cooking meals or preparing food, although health visitors now advise mother not to give cow's milk for drinking until baby's at least 12 months old. Baby rice is the standard recommendation, but there are other items you can feed. Remember, babies like flavours. They don't have to eat only bland foods. Health visitors are good sources of information for what to include and when. Most vegetables and fruit are recommended because they contain vitamin C. Pureed stewed apples, carrots, cauliflower, potato, mashed pear or banana are all suitable. Cook for a short time to keep the goodness, but they need to be soft enough to mash finely. From about the age of 6 months, a breastfed baby's stores of iron may be getting low. It's a good idea to give some iron-containing foods, such as leafy green vegetables, liver, kidney, lean mincemeat, iron-fortified cereals, and lentils. Meat doesn't mash easily, so it needs to be cooked well, and it's better to avoid fatty meat and oily or salty fish, and watch out for those bones. Peas, beans and pulses are all great sources of protein and easy to mash. Eggs are okay from 6 months unless you're worried about allergies, but again, make sure they're cooked well. Cheese is good and can be grated finely onto cool vegetables or sauce. And of course, most babies like rusks. You can either make them yourself or buy them. If you want to avoid sugar, you could offer fingers of bread toasted in the oven. If you have a family history of asthma or eczema or even food allergies, it may be better to leave eggs and nuts until she's a little older. Juice is not necessary before your baby's on solids. Even then, it's important to give it very diluted. At least 6 measures of water to 1 measure of juice. Pure fruit juice is better than the various fruit drinks that are available, which are high in added sugar and sometimes sweeteners. It's important never to add any sugar or salt to your baby's foods. Natural salt is important, but excess salt can be harmful. Sugar is a taste better not acquired. Even when you start introducing solids, the bulk of your baby's calories will still come from milk, either breast milk or formula.
I felt very unhurried about it. I only started when she was almost 6 months old, and in the beginning it was just trying things out for taste. It was just a gradual process, and I was, as I say, didn't do it in a hurry at all. And yes, it was quite easy because I didn't feel at all pressured about it, and she seemed to enjoy the experience of new foods and things like that.
It's better to offer foods as tastes at first after the usual amount of milk has been given. In time you will start replacing feeds with meals, but this is a gradual process and it's best to go only at the speed that your baby is happy. It's a good idea to introduce new foods one at a time so that if baby reacts, you won't be in any doubt which new food is the culprit. However, it is good to introduce your baby to a wide variety of foods and tastes. Once your baby can manage slightly lumpier food, and that's about 7 or 8 months, you can just mash most of it with a fork. You can have things like mashed banana and some kind of finger food, or even toast. But still, don't expect her to eat alone. Watch her constantly, as she can easily choke. As soon as she seems interested, you can let her have her own spoon. Either keep another spoon yourself, or let her do it all herself, with a spoon or fingers. Feeding herself is an important part of discovering about the world, and what happens when she handles food. This can be a very messy stage.
When she started feeding solids, I could then start feeding her because she was so exclusively on breast milk rather than bottled milk, so there wasn't even the possibility of kind of me holding her and giving her the bottle. So it was nice to be able to sit next to her and actually try and get the stuff into her mouth.
Tinned and packet baby foods are undoubtedly handy when you're out and about, but it's wise to check the labels. They're often full of sugar, milk and unnecessary thickeners, and can be a waste of money, particularly if they have little nutritional value. Contrary to what many people think, it isn't more expensive to give your baby fresh foods. And after all, at some stage you will want her to get used to home cooking. If you cook a meal and freeze it, you'll know exactly what's in it, and will also have convenient small portions.